Hey everybody, so let's try this again. I'm going to do a hair tutorial and this is out of my comfort zone, but the day that I posted my time lapse of me just drying my hair, a few of you wanted me to actually explain how I get to the parts before the drying. So I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about that. So first, just to let you know, my hair is damp. It's not soaking. I washed it, took a shower, got dressed, did my makeup, so it dried a little bit, and I'll get to that part first. When your hair is not super wet and soaking right out the shower, you want to make sure you have a spray bottle, and this is just an old bottle that had another kind of product in it. I used it all, and now I use it as a water spray bottle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just spray a lot of the dry pieces, and I tend to notice that the drier parts of my hair are at the top or at the front, and those tend to mean that those are the most damaged because they are so dry and already frizzy way before the rest of your hair. So that's something to just know about your hair and know what are the more damaged areas so that you can take care of those areas either in the shower with different products or when you're putting products on your hair for the rest of the day. So I'm just doing a light mist everywhere. Like I said, most of the top, and it looks like the back is needing it. So let's go ahead and just talk about products. Keeping it simple, I don't want to make this super long and chatty. First thing, this brand, SGX NYC, is at Target. Found it at Target just on a whim, just trying to see something new that I wanted to try, and I did, and I liked it. This is called Blaze Leave-In Heat Protection Lotion and Primer. So it's good to have a heat protector for me because I do diffuse my hair. I don't let it air dry. I'll get to that reason as to why later. And this is a primer, so exactly what primers are. They help prime your hair before you put the rest of the products on. That's first. And then I'm going to go to the same brand, but this is called Curl Power Curl Cream. And I use a cream on my type of hair because it's not super thick and the tights aren't super tight, but it's thick enough and tight enough to where a cream works for me. I don't do custards and I don't do super liquidy based gels or types of holds because, for one, the liquidy ones are for thinner hair and more waves, where I have more of curl. I have some waves mixed in, but the curl cream works for me. Custards are too heavy for my hair. I've tried it, like the Cantu brand, tried those. Those are too heavy, and so I don't get volume and I don't get much life to my hair. It's just weighed down. After that, you want to finish off with either a gel or a mousse. I used to do gel a lot. Doesn't really matter the brand. To me, it doesn't matter. I know a lot of people out there do the curly girl method, and they like to stick with paraben-free, sulfate-free, those types of things, which is good. I do try to lean that way when it comes to my shampoos and conditioners and things, but I also do like to have something that will be cleansing as far as the shampoo goes for those days that I have gone a week without washing my hair, not showering, washing my hair, or I've been to the beach, or I know I've been out in the yard and it is wash day. So I do want something with a sulfate because it does cleanse. It does strip, but it does cleanse. And so you want to have those sulfate, those good sulfates. And so I don't go completely sulfate free, paraben free. I do try to lean towards cleaner, but not completely free. Does that make sense? So with back to what I was saying is the last step in what I do with my hair is gel or mousse. Mousse, I use mousse. I tend to like it. I don't know. It does the same thing. Basically, why you want a gel or a mousse at the very end of your step is to seal in the product, create a cast, and basically you want your hair to be crunchy, but you don't want to leave it crunchy. And that's where you'll see I'll style it and where you can get volume and things like that. But you want it sealed with a mousse or a gel. So what I'm using today, and I've actually never used it, but I needed a mousse. I went to Ollie's and I found this is the only mousse I could find. Tresemme Climate Protection Styling Mousse. Nothing fancy. Well, fights humidity, which is great because my hair tends to go frizzy in humidity. So, oh, but this is the one that I just ran out of, the Aussie mousse. I did have this brand and now I can't find it at Target. They don't sell it anymore. So I'm bummed, but it's okay. You don't have to go straight through a whole process with one brand. You can if you're testing products just to see how it goes. I'm just not that picky. One thing that I wanted to say is I did try getting these Miracle Curls. It's a curl refresher. Okay, I'll get it. Curl refresher, and this made my hair tacky and hard, and the cast would not go away. It stayed tacky. I wouldn't recommend it, just saying. Okay, next, if you're somebody that needs extra help with volume, I sometimes do on like those latter days, like the 4th day or whatnot. Sometimes even the 1st day, because when hair is super clean and doesn't have grit to it, it's kind of hard to get that volume. So when that happens, either on the 1st day, depending on your hair texture, or the latter days, I have been using Living Proof in the shower. I use the Living Proof Volume, Full Dry Volume Blast. It's a styling and finishing spray. It's not technically a dry shampoo, although their dry shampoo is awesome. But this is the Volume Blast, and it's literally like you lift and you go, and it's like a blast. Don't leave it there, and don't put it too close to your head, but wherever you want volume in your hair, blast it there. Let it, just sit there for a few seconds, and then rub your hands in and just like shake it. Okay, enough talking. For my hair, I need to part it in sections. I go from the tops of my ears back.
Can I have one of these?
I could have, sure. I could have a clip, but I don't have a clip. Just one. I don't have a clip, so I'm using my niece's scrunchie. How pretty. Okay, again, I don't want to put product on dry hair. You cannot tell that much, but I can, and it's too dry to put product on. The reason I don't want to put product on even the slightest bit of dry hair is because, for one, your products, or the ones that you choose, you should go for products that are hydrating. For girls with naturally curly, even wavy hair, that type of hair, it tends to be more dry than straight hair. So you need as much nourishment as possible. And so when your hair is wet and you put your product, it's going to lock it in. First thing, what did I say? Primer. Not a lot. It's a small section, and my hair isn't super thick. I do about that much. It's very slippery. This product says put it in your roots, but I've learned from, again, my hair type, maybe your hair can handle it. My hair cannot handle anything on the roots, any kind of product. Obviously, unless it's, if I'm doing like a hair mask in the shower, fine, because I know I'm going to rinse it back out. But for something to stay on my roots is not what I want to do. And so I forgot to show you. I'm running my fingers through it like that. Some people like to do like praying hands, they say, and then you scrunch it back up. I do both, just whatever's working, just to make sure all the product is off. After primer comes the cream. It's a small section. Really, most of my sections I get about that much. This is a little thicker than the primer, which is fine. Again, I don't technically do half, but I go a little bit higher, but not quite to the scalp. So I'll run my fingers like that. Never run your fingers through dry, curly hair unless you want frizz and unless you want to stress out your curls. I wouldn't recommend doing that. So you are more than welcome to brush your hair, curly hair, or anything like that when your hair is wet and it has a lot of slip to it. I don't know if you can hear it when I'm scratching it. You can hear all that water in my hair. That's good because you know your hair is going to stay nice and hydrated and locked. Yeah. Okay. I'm not going to do the mousse yet. I do the mousse after I do each section. So then that section is done. I go to the next up. This one I go to about, I don't know, tops of my temples. Straight back. Scrunchy at the top. I don't know if you can tell, but this is very loose. Okay, I'm not trying to be all rough with my curls. Be gentle with them. Again, you just spray again because from the years of me straightening my hair, I have damaged it. I'm not interested in doing what they call the big chop, which is if you're trying to revive curls or get your hair back to healthy, you should cut your hair super short. I'm not interested in that, just personal preference. I don't feel like I look good with that short of a hair. And I'm talking about like I would need it ear length or chin, maybe not ear, sorry, chin length, and I'm not interested in doing that. So, primer, just a little bit. Want to focus, you know, towards the top of that section since you've already gotten the under part. And I'm just running through, scrunching. Remember, this is your heat protectant and your primer to be ready to hold any other product that you want to put on your hair. So, I know there are other products out there, and I do try other products whenever I run out of what I'm currently using, just for fun. And I know one thing, if you're not wanting to do these steps, all these different steps, you can buy what's called an Olaplex. It's number 6, I think. It's Olaplex number 6, and I can't remember if it's like a smoothing or what, but that's the only product you would need. As long as your hair is wet, you could do it in sections if you wanted to. It's a small bottle, so I don't know if you would want to do that. As far as like sections, I would try to make it go as far as you can go. But that's one step if you wanted to do something like that. You wouldn't even need the mousse or gel on top of it to create a cast, because I believe it creates its own cast. And I'm going to shut this door because the boys are loud and Kyle's there. Okay, next section is a small one. I basically separate what I just flip to the side normally. Does that make sense? I separate like a front and back section. See that? Okay. Again. So looks like I don't need to, I need to re-wet that part. Okay. Primer. Again, the closer you get to the top of your head, the less product you need, and the more aware you need to be about not going close to your roots with product. Okay? That's mainly to keep your hair from going flat. Get as much volume as you need. Okay, so my personal preference, again, is I don't need the curls completely, what's the word, defined. I like definition, but I don't need every curl to be visibly sleek and smooth and defined. So I prefer volume over definition. Now I don't want volume and looking frizzy and looking like a lion, or just some random crazy hairdo. So I still do like definition, but that doesn't take precedence over volume. So next section, this front section, I like to style to the front, mainly because I don't want to limit my roots or hairs from falling the way they want to fall. And I've noticed with my hair is if I style it front to the front and just lots of movement, try not to be violent with the movement, but with lots of movement, your hair can just be more bouncy, and I like that for me. So I'm doing the primer again. Now I'm going to flip to one side. Just make sure I got some primer on these little ends here. I'm going to flip again to the other side gently. Other thing to note, once you've put product on your hair, like you've noticed, I haven't continued scrunching all the rest of the sections that I've done down here, the middle, or even the top or the back. Mainly because if you continue to touch your hair while it's drying, your product's going to come off on your hands. And that's what's going to cause frizz, because your product is no longer on your strand, but it's on your hands. Ooh, that rhymed. No longer on your strands, but is now on your hands. And we want it on your strands. So don't touch your hair when it's drying. And that will make me remind you to tell you that, now I'm only doing the ends right here because I'm noticing it was a little dry, so I guess I didn't get enough product. When you are diffusing your hair, there's a lot of bad ways to do it. Mainly because people are impatient. I used to be one of them. But if you want it to look good and not have to fiddle with it, mess with it later, you're going to have to be patient when you're diffusing. By that, I mean, when you have your diffuser, I haven't forgotten my last step, which is the mousse. When you're doing your diffuser, you need to literally hover over your hair. And when I mean hover, I mean hover. Do not touch. You can be about this close. Hovering over your scalp first. Oh, shoot. Hovering over your scalp first. Why your scalp? Everybody usually starts way down here and grabs the diffuser with the teeth and decides to go all the way up. Leave it there. All the way down. All the way up. All the way down. Up and down and up. And they get too violent with their curls. First of all, most people's ends tend to dry before their scalp. So to limit the heat that you're putting on your hair, do your scalp first because it tends to take longer to dry. That way, as your scalp is drying, the rest of your hair, especially your ends, are getting that indirect heat and it's not as damaging. With mousse, I mean, it looks like a lot, but I'm not gonna just stick it directly on my hair, like one section. This is something that I don't do in sections. I literally put it on two hands, flip to one side, use one hand to gently graze over the sections, and then I'll scrunch at the ends. At the ends, okay? And then it's gone. And then I'll flip to the other side where I still have mousse from the other hand. Again, grazing over, try not to disrupt the curl pattern so much, and then I will scrunch. I want to let it curl the way it wants to curl, kind of deal. And when you're just starting out, my hair was crazy. My curls were bad and kinky and weren't curls. They were like zigzags. It was sad. But that was just mainly from all of the damage, and I just kept pushing through. Curls will revive. They have a kind of a muscle memory type thing. And so as you continue to do it and take care of your curls and not straighten your hair, I'm not against straightening my hair. I like to straighten my hair because I like variety, but I do not straighten my hair every week like I used to. Not even every month. So it's mainly like special occasions or when I am bored with my curls. But then whenever I straighten it, then I miss my curls. So I'm done. I'm going to blow dry my hair. Or diffuse it, I'm sorry. Why don't I let it air dry? Why don't I just go and leave the house? Because we actually have to go. But why don't I just go out the house like this? Well, we live in a high humidity environment. And humidity means moisture in the air. How do you expect your strands and your hair to properly dry in a high moisture environment? They can't. So they're kind of fighting against each other. The hair is fighting with the moisture. The moisture is trying to dry in a weird way, but it can't. So I wouldn't recommend air drying unless you want frizz, unless you don't care, unless you are in the biggest rush ever. Obviously, if I'm at the beach, I'm not going to take a diffuser because it's the beach and I don't really care how I look like or what I look like, because I go in the water and get out in the water, and let's say we're going to do dinner that night and I don't have time to take a shower, but I have enough time to, let's say, well, not even that. Like I don't even have time to take a shower. We're going from beach straight to restaurant. I'm going to stick my hair up in a bun, walking off the beach, and once I get to the restaurant, my hair has kept all its moisture together, and if I have like some leave-in conditioner or something, I could just squirt like a small dot and just like run through the dry areas, then I'll do that. And then I can just let the rest air dry. But again, it's the beach or it's the lake, and I don't feel the need to look that great because it's not a priority to me. So I'm going to diffuse my hair. I don't know if I'm going to record it or not. I did record it last time. I guess I could say, while diffusing, hover until you feel the hard cast. Okay? Hover until you feel your hair is crunchy and dry. Because after that is when you can touch it with the diffuser. You can touch it with your hands and scrunch some more. You can get your fingers like wide like this, stick it into your roots and just like shake them out on both sides, flip them over both sides. When I diffuse, I don't keep my hair upside down the entire time because you will look real funny when you flip back up, because now your roots are used to staying up. And then when you flip back up and stand normal, it looks bad. So my advice, flip a lot. Just flip from the side to side, from the back and upside down, and just regular if you want to, so that your roots don't get used to laying one way. That way, when you're done and you're dry, you can lay it however you want to lay it. Okay? So, thanks for watching.